Howdy y'all, it's Pig. So this is kind of a sad video to make. Unity is trying to kill itself. Now, this news did come out a few days ago. I'm a little late, but I did want to wait, see if maybe after a day or two of the negative reaction, Unity retracted their statement, but instead they have decided to double down. But they did make a few changes, which I'll be discussing here. So, those who don't know, Unity has decided that with the start of 2024, they will be adding a new fee structure so that on each new install I should say, developers will be charged a fee per install. For the basic install, it is as high as 20 cents to as low as about less than a penny, but that's only for over a million sales, million installs and sales, if I'm correct, $1 million in total revenue. So this drastically harms indie developers who maybe don't make nearly as much off of their games, and that's the issue that's everyone's been bringing up. Now, you may be asking, why does that matter to you? And it honestly matters in the sense of when it comes to the games you play, they may take longer to come out now because teams have to either choose if they want to release on Unity and stay the same, or in most cases, as developers have been talking about, moving to learning new systems. In my case, I was working on a little something in Unity that I was going to make a video on that is now being pushed back because I have to learn Unreal. And even in the when I'm recording right now, VR chat is built on Unity. And based on how the fees can go and the revenue that VR chat makes, which isn't public, hasn't been public for a while, it doesn't look good in the fact of will VR chat be able to stay with Unity if these rules go through. And honestly, part of this was expected. The CEO of Unity, and one of the CEO of the company, and one other high-ranking individual, both dumped a ton of stock right before the announcement of this plan, where it tanked. And in the same way, now plenty of other developers are getting, well, engines are getting shown. Unreal has new users. Go Godot, I think is what it's called. Um, a completely open source one that is developed by MIT. I'll put a picture of both them up. It's getting a lot of new traction, which is a great thing for competition, but it's sad to see that all the Unity games might have to change engines or just be removed. Now, I do also want to use this as a thing because I saw this online a lot. There was a joke put out by Cult of the Lamb that they were removing Cult of the Lamb January 1st when these affected. That's not true. It was purely a joke, but news decided to spread false information as news normally does. But was a pretty funny joke and did just show the point of everything that was going on. So that's currently where we lie. Unity has doubled down. They did change a few things, so like I'll show right here. The beginning of this whole thing, they had an FAQ that showed if you installed a game and you uninstalled and reinstalled it, it would count as a new install. Thus, if a game wasn't up to someone's quality or they wanted to screw over a developer, you could spend 15 to 20 minutes, it's depending on the size of the game, probably a lot longer, something bigger, uninstalling, reinstalling the game repeatedly, close it, open, go through, causing a bunch of new installs. They have stated in a newer post, but the original, as of recording, is still up. I did double check. I will edit the description if it was changed at a later point, but as of right now, it's still up. And even though they said in this new one that they will not be counting reinstalls, are we really to trust them at this point? They've already shown they're willing to stab developers in the back for money, so who's to say they won't change their mind later or say, oh, we're not doing this, and then do it? Personally, I would recommend moving to new engines. I'm moving to Unreal, personally, just because I have liked Epic with other policies they've made with having competing stores to Steam and everything else as being more open source. However, there are more fees with it. With Unreal, you are required the moment you put out a game, and you start making money off it, it is a 5% of your total revenue fee, while Unity was first $100,000, didn't have to pay anything, and then after that you had to pay a fee and pay the subscription for VR, not Unity Plus. I was getting to the next point. So, which is into VR Chat is a free to play game, but it does make money with VR Chat Plus. Now, the figures of how much it's made from it are not shown, so we don't know if they're over or under the yearly threshold with the amount of people that work for VR Chat and everything. I would assume it would be above that threshold. So I don't know the fees that they'll have to cover and what will count as new installs, what won't. Will they be charged back the old install? That's for the future to go. And I honestly don't know if Unity um is able to be pulled out of VR chat at this point. With how they work just uploading out, I don't know if other engines are capable of doing it. There probably is the open source one Go. GoGet probably has a way for it, but I don't know, and that's going to require the team thinking it over and figuring out what they want to do. So that's kind of where we're at right now, and there's not really much else to add. We kind of have to wait and see. But if you do want to put your money where your mouth is and show that you don't want this to happen, and you are a developer or someone who uses Unity, don't use it anymore. Move to other things. Show that this won't be stood for. But since this did happen now, who's to say even if they do backtrack, it won't happen again? And that's the pessimistic view, but it is a view to have on this. So with that, I'll end this video. Have a good one, y'all. I have a few more things I'm working on in the background. It's just things have been a bit chaotic, but have a good one, y'all. Be kind to one another.